because it is the green shirt of the Indomitable Lions. At the height, at the apex of your career in Wolverhampton, I was one of those who was always mumbling to myself, are there no scouts seeing George Elokobi for Cameroon's national team? Most Cameroonians were even surprised that you were not given a call. Were you ever called up for the national camp?
Yeah, I was called for the camp after a long wait. Did it affect me in any way? No. Things that I can't control, I leave them alone. I was approached by several different individuals. Some were asking for me to give money to them to go and see people back home in Cameroon, which is bribery in my opinion, to say, oh, we're going to go speak to this individual in Cameroon and you're going to get a call up because you need to pay this substantial amount of money. And you, to be honest, and you say to them, I said to them, why should I pay money to represent my country? If I'm playing for my football club and excelling, surely my country, Cameroon, should be able to see that this is someone that can come into their football club and their national team, and make it better. So I refused on several occasions. I turned them down on those occasions.
To bribe to
save my nation. And my question back to them was, have I ever bribed to save any football club in England? No. So why should I start bribing to save my national team? If they feel like I'm worthy of a call-up, then they will call me. If not, I'm not going to lose any sleep on it because that is out of my control. All I needed to do was stay focused on the job I was doing for Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. And eventually, after a lot of media coverage back home, that call-up eventually came, which was an invitation for me to come and train with the squad in Vichy, in France. And
and when you went to Vichy?
When I went to Vichy, again, this is George Elokobi. I'm an open person. And it was a fantastic experience for myself being in that camp, being in that milieu of the nationals, of these players that I've been watching, sharing a room with my roommate at the time, Modest Mbami, who is quite a good guy. Speaking to players like Stefan Bia, Chedu, all these great individuals that have represented and served this country, and some of them are still serving the country so well, the national team, so well. It was a privilege, and I enjoyed the experience. So I was in Vichy for, I think we was there for three days in the training camp, and I enjoyed every bit of that experience I had. But then the second call-up came, which was the call-up for the game against Senegal in Dakar. And this call-up came after, I remember vividly, I was at the hotel preparing for the game against away at Aston Villa, and I received this brown envelope from the secretary. And I opened it up and it was a call-up. But it was funny enough because you have this call-up, you get excited, and then straight away it hits home. At the time, I didn't have a British passport. I had my Cameroonian passport, and I had to go to process a visa. Knowing the procedures with, the consulates, the Portuguese consulate, which, we had a camp to meet up in Portugal. I had to go into the Portuguese consulate to obtain a visa. And it was strenuous on me because I didn't know anyone that could fast track a visa in a day because they have procedures. There are procedures.
Exactly.
Hence, I was late for the camp for a think 2 days, because I went on a Monday, and the only time I could join them was on a Tuesday night. And I remember at the time, the manager then, I think was Otofis, asked me why I was late, and I thought to myself, to be honest, there should be more. There should have been more. You should have been more informed of. So I told him I've been trying to get a visa, and the Cameroon just sent the invitation and didn't really help me to get there, knowing that I may need a visa. So the letter is one thing, but you need a visa on your passport to travel.
That's true.
So it took me time, and I was glad that after all the headache, they saw common sense was prevailed by one of the members at the consulate, who happened to be a lady that had a nephew that played professional football as well, and knows what it means to us professionals to have that call-up, and she helped fast forward the visa, and that's how I found myself to Portugal. And then obviously at this time you had the likes of the great legend Samuel Eto'o. He was a captain for the Lions then, and gave me a warm welcome, and I met the players. Everyone gave me such a great welcome, and I trained with the squad, and we all flew after 2 days of training, flew to Dakar, to Senegal for the game. And there was a friendly game that was arranged after that game, which didn't happen, and I was meant to be making my debut in that friendly against Gabon in Paris, and for some technicalities the game got called off, and that was the end of my time with the national team. But a great experience, coming from the background I've come from, and who would have thought that boy from Sase getting a call up for the Lions? To me, that was history.
You know, when some of us were watching you even on television, but let me know, you played against Manchester United, you defeated Manchester United, which I must confess to you was also a club of my heart. You defeated Manchester United, you won games against Arsenal, you won games against Chelsea, you won games against Tottenham. I mean, how was it, George? Playing and defeating Manchester United with the names like Rio Ferdinand, Rooney, and so on.
My first game at Old Trafford against Nani, he had the better of me for 15 minutes, 20 minutes spell. I'll call it a little bit of a torture, where it was an eye-opener. That was my very first appearance at Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams. But that 15 minutes was a theatre of nightmare for me. And again, the mindset to never back down saw me through this game. After the 15 minutes, I said, guess what? I'm ready for you. You may have had the 15 minutes you've had, but no more. And the first was a heavy tackle on him, won the ball. The second was just a nice tackle on him, just to let him know what time it is now. You're up against a lion. And then, after that, that was it. But now at the Molineux, when I faced him again, this is the second season now in the Premiership, in 2010-2011 season. United have been going on for 29 games unbeaten in every competition. So we're heading for a record. And Wolves, at the time, we was rock bottom in the Premier League.
I know.
And we're up against Manchester United Football Club. Everyone thought
it was going to be right through.
Clean the floor with us. But in football, I always tell people, don't take your eye off it until the 96th minute, because don't forget, we had Fergie time, which was 5 minutes at the time minimum. So when you're playing against United, you need to be focused. Your concentration levels must be at its peak for 95 minutes. Nani scored the first goal, and I could hear the jeering around the Molineux. Oh, I didn't defend against him properly. Bearing in mind, this is a player is gifted.
That's true.
On both feet. He can use both feet. So if you try to show him to one side on his right foot and you close that angle down, he will come on his left foot and do something outrageous. And he did that. Beat the keeper on the front post. I thought the keeper should have done better, Wayne Hennessy. But that's gone. And everyone, by heading the first goal for us to make it 1-0. And that was it. I think from then on, I proved to people that now I was of Premier League qualities.